Hello, everybody. Shooty here again. Uh, so I guess I do need to eat pro a tiny bit on my last video. Um, I kind of like said like, oh, Shadow's just not in the rest of the Zombot arc, and I'm mostly right, but I was kind of wrong a tiny bit about him not being a more threatening Zombot. Uh, because immediately in issue 20, he becomes a threat. So, I'll start where I should start, which is the cover for this. And the cover's fine. It's good, actually. Really, I dig it. It's just not. I don't know. I think it's like it's neat. This would be neat, like fan art. I just don't think it's like that awesome as like cover art. I think it would have been neat if. I think what would have been really kind of cool is if they would have made uh, cover art that was like referential to like zombie media. I think that would have been kind of neat if they probably have a couple variant covers that are like that, but it would have been neat, like yeah, like a Walking Dead or Night of the Living Dead. Um, any of those really, it would have been kind of cool to have like some referential material. Um, but now I'll cut back to what I was saying before, and it's like Shadow is actually. It turns out he is a threat, and he is a threat in this comic. He appears to be stronger than a normal Zombot because he just like immediately he's just pinning Sonic to this truck, about to choke him out in this first panel. Um, the art in this first panel looks fucking killer, but my one gripe is it does kind of do it does the Sonic motor mouth thing. Sonic says, thought you could take on the Zombots with raw power alone, didn't you? Didn't you, Shadow? Now you're fully converted. While I can run off my infection, I can't wait to say I told you so. If you don't crush my windpipe first, it's like, okay, he's trying to have this whole like told you so moment, and it's like, you could have just again, you can cut this down. Like, you can cut this dialogue down. Sonic should not be a motor mouth. He should be somebody who tries to communicate as fast as possible. If that means that when he says something, it's kind of vague. That's all right because he's a character who's meant to be like as fast as humanly possible. If I was to rewrite this panel, it would probably say like, uh, you were too stubborn to run, Shadow. I can't wait. I can't wait to say I told you so. Like that's what I would say right there. Just two lines of dialogue, and that's it. Too stubborn to run. Can't wait to tell you I told you so. That's all Sonic needs to say right there. It doesn't need this whole thing where you're basically kind of re-explaining. It's kind of obvious the Shadows got infected. I don't need Sonic to remind me what happened in the last issue. It's literally playing out right in front of me. That all aside, this is definitely a lot of this art is better in terms of like capturing that comic book feel. Like there's a couple panels on this one page here where Shadow and Sonic are fighting, and they don't draw every like individual Zombot like they do in the previous issue. They have actually lots of like blank color and stuff, which is neat. The panel layout is slightly more interesting. I think they really could go for some angled panels sometimes. That stuff really does kind of convey like action. Like when you think of like boredom, like if like a Garfield comic, like it's always square panels. Like it's never like there's never like an angled panel, and usually an angled panel is meant to convey like emotion or action, and uh in terms of like say if it was like you're watching an anime or a cartoon like an action cartoon, that angled uh that angle in the panel is meant to like emulate a quick cut between one shot of an action to the next shot. It's meant to be like when you read it with your eye, it's meant to be fast. The square ones are more, they're just designed to kind of slow you down when you're looking at it and stuff. Uh, the angled panels go a long way in trying to convey action. At one point, Omega shows up for this fight, and he just it's just funny because like Omega and Shadow, they're Team Dark, they're part of Team Dark, and they're supposed to be pals. And Omega, like, it's the one thing I'll say IDW does kind of or does correctly with like Omega's character is he's just like a killing machine robot. He does not actually care about uh like the people he's with necessarily. He just wants to smash stuff. So it does cut to like this shot where Omega is plowing Shadow's face into the fucking ground, and I love it just because of how like over the top and stupid it is. Even like the way Shadow's leg bends in that panel is like so it's so fucked, but I like it. It characterizes what Omega's supposed to be. And then Sonic keeps fighting Shadow, and I'm. It's kind of apparent that Shadow can't he can't clearly use his what do they call his rocket skates because if I cut back to a couple pages, there's a couple panels they have of Shadow, and it's not even like focused on Shadow either. And I actually like this. I think this whoever the artist was for this, I want to give them kudos for like really nailing this, nailing the art in this because it's actually really good. But there's a couple of panels where it's just Shadow like chasing this truck and it's not like focused on him. It's in the background of other panel, like of the page, and it's just there for you, the reader, to notice it. And I actually like it. I think that's I think that's like an A+ thing in this. It's the point I was going at before I went on this is tangent is he's clearly not using his rocket skates. He's actually just normal running. So it's an indicator that Shadow can't like he doesn't have his like faculties to actually use his like abilities the way he's supposed to. They do have a couple of panels. At one point, Shadow does fuck up Omega. Don't know if I yeah he just like tears like Omega's wiring out and gives him a big fuck you. And then Tails and Silver show up to save Sonic. And Sonic's like literally like seconds away from turning into like a full blown Zombot. Shadow's even though like he's still like he's clearly got some of his like speed ability still because he jumps on a building and launches himself at Silver, which that would have been pretty fucking. That's another opportunity where you could have infected Silver and add a ticking time clock to him to some certain degree. Actually, probably not. Silver's not fast. He's just got telekinesis, so I don't think he can like run the virus off like Sonic can. So I don't know. Either way, it would have been a hell of a thing if they were bold enough to infect Silver in this comic. They get away and they go to the hideout where the Resistance and some other survivors are, I guess. And it's kind of dumb because they just let Sonic in and he's infected. I mean, what the fuck is his name? Emerald. The robot. He's there to like be like, oh no, you can't do this. Sonic's infected, and everybody's just like, shut up, robot. And then it gets really boring. It's a lot of talking. The facial expressions are pretty good in this, and I think the artist did kind of nail a like a look of weariness in Sonic's eyes, and facial expressions. Like he does look like he's starting to get tired, which I think this will come up later in another issue. But I think like the thing that a lot of the other issues kind of don't nail is the idea that Sonic's he can't stop running or he'll get infected. So he should be like tired out of his gourd right now. He should be drinking like a shit ton of energy drinks and coffee to stay awake. Um, but I don't think I don't think they like really nail that in the other issues. I could be wrong. I'll get back to them. This arc kind of has a lot of fluff in it. I read a few more issues ahead of issue 20, and it's not uh it kind of has a lot of fluff in it. I'll get into that when I get to them, but the uh right now I'm focused on issue 20. I got to stay focused. But the art is I'll say the art is like definitely better in this issue. A lot of like good facial expressions on characters, even background characters. I think we get to see Lanile, the sheep with tits. We see her in the background in one of the panels in this. For anybody who cares about that character, don't worry, we'll talk about her when she comes up. Uh, Oh yeah, and they saved Omega's head, even though he's a stupid fucking robot. They're like, "Oh, we gotta save Omega. He's our friend." It's like he's a robot, guys. Chill the fuck out. I hate robot characters in media. Robot characters, and it's not the robot character's fault. It's like the writer's fault. They treat robots like they're people. With like, oh, like R2D2. He's just like me. He's got emotions. He's like, no, he's not. He's a fucking walking, talking toolbox. Like that's what R2D2's job is. He's supposed to roll up, and it's like, hey, R2, my fucking wiring's not working on this spaceship. Can you fix that? And R2 makes some beeping sounds and then pisses on you with oil. Then he fixes them. Then he fixes the electrical problem. But they're not people. The thing about robots is you destroy their body. You could just put their hard drive or whatever CPU, whatever into another robot body and they'll be fine. It's like the whole thing where they're like, oh my god, you gotta save my robot friend. It's like, no, not really. Just leave him. He'll be fine. He'll come back and get him fixed later. Um, and then at the end of the comic, Starline makes an appearance and he's researching the Zeti because for some godforsaken reason, who fucking wrote this issue? Who wrote this goddamn issue? Oh, Flynn did. Ian Flynn. Ian Flynn decided, why don't we bring back the Zeti? And I hate him for that. I hate the Zeti. I really do not like them. They're they are they're not like their designs just don't. It's like, what is their design supposed to even be? They're just weird abstract monsters. But they're ancient, but they also can like could take control of technology. It's like I don't understand what the fuck they're supposed to be. They feel like the weirdest like armpit kind of supervillain you can make. It's like I feel like they belong on like a children's program called like the Oogly Booglies or something like that. It's like, oh, watch out, it's the Oogly Booglies, and they're like horrible monsters, and then like sentient teddy bear has to like stop them. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass. And Starlane even like talks about how, or he's like looking at like the computer, and in the background of this panel, Eggman and Sonic are like clearly versus the Zeti, and the Zeti have control of his robots. And shithead Starline's like, oh, I bet I could control them. It's like, no, you're not that guy, Starline. Sorry. Mr. Fabulous over here thinks he can control the fucking Zeti. What the hell is Starline supposed to be? Is he a platypus? Why is he a platypus? Why isn't he a fucking bird? Starlines are birds, so why the hell is he a fucking platypus? I like Starline's character. It's just they got uh it's like he's basically a stand-in for Snively from Archie. And Snively's like Eggman's like nephew, and but he's like a sycophant for Eggman at first, and then over time and it takes a real long time for them to build this up, but over time he gets sick of Eggman's bullshit and leaves, and they build that up. And and this, they like in IDW, they wanted to like bring back Snively, so they make Starline, but Starline is super like rushed in comparison to Snively. Um, he's got a great character. I think he's got great character design, and I dig his like the idea. It's like, oh, he's like this like sycophant who just thinks Eggman's like the bee's knees. It's just very rushed character. And then on top of that, his whole thing is like he studied Eggman, and he knows like how Eggman works and stuff, and he understands how Eggman fails to Sonic, and he still decides to make some of the mistakes Eggman makes, and it makes no fucking sense to me. Um, I guess it does make sense. Usually, that's how it works. You have an asshole, and they fuck up, and then another asshole shows up, and they're like, I could do what he did, but better, and then they fuck up. But I think Starline. I think it's just he's very rushed. Um, and then this whole thing where he's deciding we're gonna bring in the Zeddy. It's like, please don't bring in the Zeddy. Please, God, do not bring in the Zeddy. They bring in the Zeddy though. They bring him in. I'll talk about that when I get to it. uh, Overall, I think this particular issue was actually art wise, it's okay. Story wise, it's not terrible either. Because most of the issue, I shouldn't say most. A lot of the issue, I want to say about almost half of it, it's Sonic fighting Shadow, which is okay in my book. Any comic where a Sonic characters are actually fighting and stuff, and actually like they're participating in action, is okay to me. The less standing around and talking in a comic, the better. A giant chunk of it is them standing around and talking in Resistance HQ, but it's establishing like your usual zombie stuff. It's establishing your whole oh, we have a chance. Tails is like, we might have a cure, or I'm gonna go look for a cure. I'm not gonna reread the dialogue. I just know that's part of it. Is they're like trying to look for a cure for this. They're talking to Silver about stuff and things. It's the calm before the next action stuff, and it makes sense because that's usually what you do. In like it's a typical the heroes are stuck in a hard place thing in zombies media. Um, they're trying to hit all those check boxes for a zombies thing. Oh, we have that shot of a character getting sucked into a horde. We have somebody who's infected and there's a time clock on them. Uh, it's alright. It's not terrible. It is and it is. This whole arc is frustrating to me because it could be so much better, but then there's like things in it where it's like, why? Um. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about issue 20. Uh, I'll reiterate, really pretty decent art. Story's okay. This is probably one of the better issues for the most part. They definitely have Motormouth Sonic in here. I think they could definitely work on that. Somebody said that Sonic should have a word limit, and I kind of agree. I think Sonic should have like a limited amount of like dialogue he can have per issue. And that's like I don't even know what that number would be, but it should be a relatively low number compared to what other characters would be saying. Sonic should not be talking as much as I talk. Sonic should talk significantly less than what I talk. Um, but yeah, that's it. That's all I have. I'm gonna get to issue 21 here. Maybe I gotta re-look through that one real quick because I don't think anything super interesting happens in that. I'll maybe tear apart the art a tiny bit and see if I notice any goofy bullshit. I did notice. I keep saying, "Oh, that's it. This video's over." But yeah, no, that's it. That's it. That's all I have to say. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to stop it here. Goodbye.